Okay, we are live with the Manufacturer's Efficiency webinar series. And this month, I will be presenting on how AI is revolutionizing manufacturing. So this series we created, Rich Bello, myself, and Matt Wizeman, because we have a commitment to American manufacturers, and we have a commitment to growing the economy and creating jobs and keeping manufacturing domestic and supporting our manufacturers in any way we can. So one of the hot topics right now, of course, is AI and automation, IoT, Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0. So I really wanted to address that because it's a direction that a lot of manufacturers are heading in right now. And a lot of manufacturers are a little overwhelmed by it. Like, what is this AI thing? How does it affect us? What do we do with it? So that's what I want to cover today. So my partners in this series are Rich Bello with Schooley Mitchell and Matt Wizeman with Focal Point Coaching. And I am with Barracuda B2B Marketing. I'm a B2B growth strategist with a Lean Six Sigma background. So I filter everything through that lens because everything's a process and all processes can be improved. So I kind of wanted to mention that why this topic? AI is not the future. AI is here. It's here on your shop floor. It's here in your supply chain. It's even in your sales pipeline. So I want to cover what's driving AI adoption in manufacturing, real world use cases, and how to start small and scale smart. So first, for people who don't know, let's start at the basics. What is AI? AI is artificial intelligence. It's a program that learns from data and then makes decisions based on data and helps automate tasks. So AI, people are always so threatened by AI. It doesn't replace human decision making. It augments human decision making. AI is really about human AI machine convergence. So how do we leverage AI to get better, to get more efficient? We all have workforce shortages. How do we do more with less? How do we take one operator or one employee and they can do the work of two or three? Well, if AI frees up some of their time and takes off those repetitive task workloads, it frees up bandwidth for them to put their human intelligence and decision making into other more important tasks. So basically, AI emphasizes training, upskilling, and culture. Smart factories are human-centered first, and AI supports that human-centered culture. So AI is important right now because I mentioned one of the reasons, skilled labor shortage. But there has been a study done that 75% of manufacturers plan to boost their digital investments. Because of skilled shortage, labor shortage, supply chain volatility, rising costs, competitors, and also customers' needs for customization. So that's why AI is becoming a tool that is an opportunity at the moment. So digital transformation, what is that? When you hear that, that's kind of like a coin phrase that people throw out there. I'm doing digital transformation at my facility. Really, all it means, it's the integration of all of your digital technology into all areas of your business to change how your business operates and deliver value. So it's a continuous process, just like Lean Six Sigma is. It modernizes processes, it improves efficiencies, it helps to create new services to meet customer demands. And it really requires a strategic approach and a cultural shift to embrace all the new technologies and new or different ways of working. So that sounds overwhelming, right? And I just listed here some of the digital transformations that are taking place right now. The one that a lot of people ask about that unless you're in the tech space, a lot of people don't know what it means, is digital twins. Digital twins are really very interesting. What a digital twin does, it's an AI solution that creates a virtual replica of a system or a process. And it uses data to mirror that system so that you can do simulations and try to get ahead of supply chain disruptions or shutdowns. So you're basically running the same system in AI in future time and running all kinds of simulations, like worst case scenarios. What if this happens? What do I do about that? What if I can't get this material? What do I do instead? And it teaches you to almost have like a disaster recovery plan so that you know what actions to take if any of these scenarios happen. And I actually have a friend who developed a really powerful AI supply chain digital twin, and he's been going to market with that lately. So what are the results of a digital transformation? As I mentioned, your workforce can focus on other things. You get those predictive analytics. AI can help train people. I am actually working with an AI software company. They're a stealth startup, and their AI can teach new CNC machine operators. So you could take me, Rich, or Matt, who's never run a CNC, stick us in front of that machine, and the AI will talk to us and tell us how to run that machine, what spindle speeds we need to program, what order we need to put our tooling, all of that. It'll teach you how to run the machine. It lowers your infrastructure costs. For example, and it decreased costs too, decreased downtime, decreases waste. And I'll talk a little later. I'm going to talk about a case study, and it's really powerful, like really, really powerful. So it'll show you not just in words, but in numbers, in ROI, how AI can save manufacturers $500,000 for a very small investment. So what are the barriers to AI adoption? There are barriers. Okay, a lot of times manufacturers have legacy equipment, right? Can your equipment, is it modern enough to interface with the AI? The solution that I was talking about, it is. We're bolted onto really old machines. It's just an edge device that plugs into the machine, pulls the data to the cloud, the AI tabulates it and sends it back down to a tablet. So certain AI programs, legacy equipment isn't a barrier. Your system's being disconnected, if you don't have good data quality, if you have skills gaps, and if you have a fear-based culture where people are intimidated by AI because they think it's going to replace them. Those can be some of the barriers. So how do we overcome those barriers? This is how you do it. AI, we have to teach people that AI is not replacing them. It's going to automate mundane tasks that more than likely they hate doing, and it's going to create new opportunities. And involving the employees in the AI selection, in the implementation process, you get buy-in. Think of a Lean Six Sigma project. You have your champion, but then all your stakeholders, you have them involved in the process, in the process improvement every step of the way, so that they have vested interest. It is their process. It is going to make their life better. And that's how you overcome those challenges. Also doing a phased plan. You don't have to do it all at once. And I'll talk about that in the case study too, how the client that I'm working with is doing a phased modernization plan. Integrating your tech stack is important. Having governance, like a plan in place, and just communicating and training your staff. So what is the next step you take to get ready for AI and automation in your facility? You need to assess your digital maturity, identify all your pain points, do that small pilot, measure the ROI and the data on that pilot, create a data-driven culture, and create a timeline for implementation. If you highlight how AI is going to take the company to the next level, ensure the company stays competitive, ensure the company grows, that's powerful to your employees, because I think a lot of employees worry about if the company doesn't grow or it stagnates or it's not competitive, I'm going to lose my job because they're not going to be able to afford to keep me and they're going to eliminate my position. So again, it depends on how you put things in context, whether it can be intimidating and threatening or whether it can be empowering and really energizing and motivating. So it's really all about communication. So the case study, this is the thing I was most excited to get to because this just happened. It literally just happened in September. So I was working with a machine shop and they have 9 machines and their machines are huge. They manufacture huge metal parts. I mean, one machine takes up like a whole warehouse. And they told me that the one machine that takes up the big room, if there's a defect on that machine, one time it costs $60,000. They said they are currently operating with $500,000 of defect waste per year due to machining defects. So what we're doing is they have 9 machines. We're doing the phased small pilot approach. So we're installing that AI software solution I mentioned. We're bolting it onto 3 machines. The cost to them is $1,000 per machine per year. Let's say we bolted onto all their machines, $9,000 a year to save $500,000 of defect waste. No brainer. When they saw the demo of the solution, they're like, yes, bring it. So I actually have the hardware, the edge devices and tablets in my house because I've got to go out there and get them bolted on. But how powerful is that? We're going to eliminate defects on those machines. It can train their new employees. It can help with predictive maintenance. It can do forecasting, quoting. Once the AI learns about 3 months of pulling data, it can do all of that because it's repeatable data. So I was really excited to share that case study because it brings home all the, conceptual ideas I shared at the beginning of the presentation and makes them real. Like, people tell you all the time what AI is, but when you can see actually the powerful effect it can have in the real world, that's where it starts to make sense. So that is really my presentation today. And if you want to learn more about that software, or I know tons of AI folks that have supply chain solutions and CNC solutions. I'm happy to introduce any of you to any of my contacts that can explain it better to you, because I'm not an AI software person, I'm a growth strategist. So I'm working with that AI company because they're a startup and they hired me to help stand up their North American operations and scale their business, do some business development for them. And so that's how I'm plugged into that organization. The Manufacturers Efficiency Webinar Series, we do this monthly, and each month we rotate. So if you want to see past episodes, I post them all on my YouTube site. But also, Rich, Matt, and I, each new episode we share on LinkedIn. So if you follow any of us on LinkedIn, you'll see future episodes. And I wanted to talk about what's coming up in those future episodes. I've already introduced you to the 3 of us, but in this presentation, there are QR codes that take you to all of our websites. And if you want to meet with one of us, all of our contact information is there. You can schedule an appointment, and all of us would be happy to meet with you at any time if you need any advice. So here's our upcoming schedule. Matt is on deck for November, and he's going to talk about succession planning for business continuity. Rich is in December. He's getting to the bottom of merchant service fees, which can be costly for an organization. And then I'm on deck for January. My God, 2026 already. And I'm going to talk about how to accelerate sales cycles without burning out your team. And the reason I'm doing that is being a B2B growth strategist, I'm not just a marketer. I align sales and marketing teams so that they are in lockstep and can be more effective by working together rather than at cross purposes. And that is a problem I see in every organization I go into, especially in manufacturing. And I want to address that head on so that we can get your sales and marketing teams working together to the greater good of your company to really leverage both of their skill sets. So I want to thank you if you made it to the end of this presentation. I hope you did, because if you didn't, you missed that case study. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us. Please feel free to leave comments in the comments section, questions, opinions. And if you have any topics you want us to cover, we'd be happy to put them into the rotation. So have a great day, everybody. And I want Rich and Matt now, if you have any final closing comments or ideas, please jump in and share those.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention, Gina, that I thought was interesting, and you went in depth on AI with regards to automation and how it can work, like with your case study in terms of bolting onto machines and the machine learning that it does. An interesting kind of sidebar, I would say, to AI. A friend of mine that has an AI business, he focuses on marketing efforts, specifically social media usage of AI. He put it in an interesting way to me that I thought was helpful for me when I was still trying to get to know how to use AI, specifically with ChatGPT. But the thing he said was, use AI as if you're having a conversation with it. So the more you feed into it, the more questions that you ask, the more that you try to get it to elaborate on whatever type of result it gives you, the more it's going to learn and the more in depth that it will go for you. So what I try to do, kind of use case with that, and when I'm using ChatGPT, I'll use it specifically when I'm trying to determine if a potential a prospective company would be a good client for my business, and I'll straight up ask it, just flat out, would this company be a good client for my business? And since it knows about my business from how much I've talked to ChatGPT about it, it will lay out in great detail how a prospective client would or would not be a good client and the reasons for such, and how to take next steps, what my approach should be in pitching my service to this prospective client. So from a sales perspective, it really is a great tool. And to Gina's point, it eliminates a lot of the menial tasks, the time-consuming tasks like research and basically doing your prospecting homework. It kind of does that for you and allows you to focus more of your time on the actual doing, the making the calls or the having the appointments with a prospect to actually have that conversation. So I thought that was relevant from a sales perspective.
I appreciate that, Rich. Like, that's bringing it home to the personal level. You know, we all use AI in our jobs or personally at home. And one caveat I would say, I use AI every day. I don't feel threatened by it. It's a tool. It's a tool just like a cell phone, just like anything else. It is fallible. It is defective. You have to be careful. Like, I used it to do some competitive research for a marketing strategy that I'm doing for a client. The results it returned were not good. They were not correct because I had the data. I just wanted to see what AI would pull. And then I tried to do a Gartner Magic Quadrant. It put the same companies in like 3 different quadrants, and it's like, well, which quadrant do they belong in? They can't be in all 3. And you know, the graphic capabilities are not up to snuff yet. So I'm always careful. The other thing you need to know too, now AI that you're buying, like if you buy the AI solution that the client I'm working with, that's a lockdown AI solution. That data is yours. It is protected. We don't have access to it, and the rest of your competitors don't have access to it. But ChatGPT, anything you load to there, it is public information now. So I tell people, be careful about loading your strategic plan and asking it to complete something for you, or be careful about loading your financials and asking it to do forecasting or projections. That now is public information because ChatGPT is not locked down. It is open source software. So, I think it's a tool, but people are going crazy with things without like any training. And like, for instance, here's a free marketing consulting. People think they don't need me. They think they don't need a marketer because, oh, I can use ChatGPT to create all my blogs for me, and I can use it to create my website content and blah, blah, blah. You're actually hanging yourself by doing that. Google, which is AI, Google penalizes companies for utilizing AI generated content on their websites because it is not considered thought leadership. It is not original content. And they will actually de-rank you from their Google index for SEO purposes, for search engine optimization. So, because if you ask them, write a blog about machining metal parts, if 30 other people ask the same question, you've all got the same blog on your website, or it pulls from stuff that's already out there. So you might all have the same paragraph on your website. Google sees that. They're like, oh, duplication of content. They all stole this from somewhere. So I tell people, be very careful about utilizing AI to replace marketing and replace human generated content and human generated keywords and SEO. I used it to generate keywords for 2 of my clients. Oh, it was so off base. So off base. I had to go through and like completely comb through it and add stuff that wasn't there, change stuff. It was giving me keywords that the person or company didn't even do. I don't know how you got that. I fed in their website to you. I fed in their LinkedIn. I fed in documents I had, and you're giving me keywords that their business doesn't even provide. So just be careful. Matt, you have any closing comments?
Yeah, and as well as a question. So I'll start with the comments because they're in line with what's being discussed. I was at a talk yesterday by a gentleman named Drew Thompson who um, is in the AI space. His presentation was on leveraging AI for research on identifying um, prospect opportunities. And one of the things he said related to Rich, your comment about continuing to ask, to engage with AI and as if you were talking to someone. His recommendation was actually to, and I don't know how I feel about this, was actually to do almost like journaling in a chat GPT or something like that, so that it learns about you and what you're doing, what your concerns are. So walking that fine line between entering personal information and wanting the system to learn more about you. I mean, his objective was, do journaling in whatever uh, AI you prefer, so that it can better tailor its responses on all things going forward, better tailor things that's going to recommend to you and your needs. Yeah, again, in relation to all the things we're discussing here about, private information and yet wanting the AI to be most effective for you, and how you use it. There's definitely a fine line to be walked there. Going back to the specifics of your presentation, Gina, you talked about the digitization of a company, pulling data from sources within an existing company, and here we're focused on manufacturing. So my question is, are there, if you think about given manufacturing company, they've got multiple pieces of equipment on the floor from multiple different providers. I've worked at companies where it ranges from equipment that is relatively new, with purchased within the past few years, to being many decades old.
Mhm.
Are there one-stop providers out there, so to speak, where a manufacturing company can go to them and say, look, we want to leverage all of the data that's being generated on our manufacturing floor and elsewhere in our company? Or is it, do you have to go to kind of different providers who can, have expertise in, getting digital information out of an antiquated piece of equipment versus, another company that knows how to get it out of, more modern equipment, or maybe even, maybe you go right to the manufacturer themselves because now they have a solution for that.
That's a really good question. First of all, I wanted to address your comment. Yes, with AI, we need to teach it about us. So like when I first got started using AI, I put in the link to my website, I uploaded my resume, I put in my LinkedIn link, and things like that started to teach them. I put in my bio, like teach AI, who is Gina, what is her brand, what is her voice, what is her approach. So, I did that before I started using it. To answer your second question, yes, there are AI software providers that can integrate with any piece of equipment of any age. Like the AI that I'm talking about, that we're going into that company with 9 machines. They have a few modern machines. To be honest with you, the easiest thing to bolt onto is Haas, because you can get all their parameters and it's easy. DMG Mori is a little more difficult. They like to lock down their stuff. You can do it, and we've done it, but it takes a lot more work and time. So yes, we can bolt on to the mills, drills, lathes, CNCs, vertical, horizontal, CMMs, every piece of equipment in their facility. And some of the pieces of equipment in there, I guess, are probably 75 years old. One or two of their machines is probably last 10 years. They're planning on buying a new machine in about a year. So it's equipment of all ages that does different kinds of processes. And the same edge device, the same tablet, the same everything bolts onto all those machines. As long as you have internet in your facility, that the data can go from the machine to the cloud, you're okay. So yeah, I'd be leery of providers that, you've got to hire like 10 solutions and 10 integrators. And, it depends on what you're doing though, too. Like one AI solution isn't going to do everything in your facility. Like this one is specific to your machines. So if you want to do something else with AI, no, we're not going to do it. You're going to have to find a provider that helps you with that problem you've got. We're focused on increasing efficiencies, decreasing defects, eliminating waste. Basically it's Lean Six Sigma. Like I have one client, it's 2 partners who run a company, and they're manufacturing engineers, and they're interim operations managers, and they also do Lean Six Sigma projects. They demoed the solution and they're like, oh my God, we love it. It replaces us. Like literally, it can go into a facility for $1,000 and do what we do that takes us months to do. And they're retiring soon, and they want to distribute our AI software. They're like, we believe in this. This is the future. We want to sell this to our customers and to represent your company to get you bolted onto more machines. We also have a CNC distributor that is dying to distribute our software. And they're doing an open house next month. They're going to bolt the software onto one of their machines. And during the 2-day open house, when people come through their facility, they're going to demo the AI software on their machine, because they sell CNCs. So they're like, it's an easy sell. We can sell this software to our customers to make their machines more efficient. So if anybody is in the Ohio or greater Cleveland area, you're more than welcome to come to this open house at the CNC distributor. There's going to be hundreds of manufacturers there. So reach out to me if you want an invite. You're welcome to come as my guest. So I think we covered everything, guys. So thank you for your time. We made it just in 30 minutes. We're so good at keeping to time and still being thorough and diving deep. So join us next month for our next presentation, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. Everybody have a great, blessed day.